Welcome to Jayboys, bro.
Hi everyone. I want to take the opportunity today while the kids are at school, Carla's at work, and it's just Baxter and I here at the house. I got some of my chore list done. I wanted to get finished, changed out the water on the reef tank, mowed the lawn, cleaned some of the house. So I figured it's a great time before I get up and leave to go figure out something to do, to sit here and talk to you. And it's actually a pretty significant video in that it's the first time that Carla and I found out anything about autism being associated with Jason. So a huge range of emotions. So if you remember, we went to our primary doctor who sent us over to a clinic who did some testing on Jason or some observation really I should say. And what they didn't say anything to us yet at this point. I think it was just um, kind of just let's check them out, let's see, let's not say anything yet. They sent a specialist to the house to do some weekly or twice a week testing, assessing, watching Jason. I think watching Carla and I just kind of seeing what we're doing at the home. Um, so they sent her over, and my first impression of her was a little bit lack of professionalism. She wouldn't show up sometimes and didn't call, so we had to call. Wouldn't show up on time, so I didn't have a very good impression of her in the first place. But again, I didn't um, advocate as strong, or I didn't really voice my opinion on that because I didn't think much of it. I mean, we just thought Jason was a little bit delayed in some of his learning, so it wasn't something that was all that important to me. It was just like, whatever, she's unprofessional and it is what it is. So, um, as we did these testings or did these visits, I should say, um, I remember a specific day when she brought up, she said, I think Jason's autistic. And honestly, my first thought was, and my first emotion was anger. And it was towards her. It wasn't, um, it wasn't like towards obviously us or Jason or anything. It was like directly towards her. How could somebody come in here that's not a doctor, that's late and unprofessional, um, doesn't speak well with us or doesn't communicate well with us, make a diagnosis that our son is autistic? It made me very upset. And um, but that was the first time, and I'm going to tell you, the emotion was anger. Um, and as she left, I remember just telling Carla, like, who the hell is this woman to say that he's autistic? And to back up, I did have a little bit of experience with autism and working with children with autism because I was in I went to school for education, pre-K to 12. I had my bachelor's in science and certification for pre-K to 12 for teaching, which I did for 5 years. And during college, I was in a course, special education course, and I worked with a child that had autism, and that was closely resembled where Jay is today. When I had him, I think he was a little bit older. He was probably 10, so Jason's 6, and I'd say Jason's a little bit higher on the spectrum than he was. But it scared me because I saw I remembered what I worked with in college, and then I saw the children that were on different levels that other students at school were working with, and it scared the crap out of me. Um, that was the next emotion, was being like worrying and being scared. You when you have a child, and I think I can speak for most people, you're so worried about their well-being. And to think about, like, everything went through my head at one time. How is he going to be in school? How is he going to act when he gets older? The list just goes on and on. So Carla and I started doing like research more because in school, when I was in school, it was just like whatever. It was a course, and I didn't. Obviously, like I cared about the individual I was working with, and I learned a lot, but I didn't really like dig into autism. It was a course in college, and it was just I got a little bit of exposure. So shame on me, I guess, for not really like taking that class as seriously as I should have. But um, you know, so anyways, we did our research, and this is why I started this channel, was because as Carla and I did research and we were looking up like what, trying to get an idea of what Jason might be like as he gets older. There was really not that much out there. There were some parents that videotaped their children with autism doing some things here and there, but it wasn't like really educational. Um, some of it was more worrying than others because it didn't explain like the different levels, the different spectrums. Really, it kind of probably was not that good to watch that stuff because it made me worry more. But and then as you read, there's not that much stuff on it. Obviously, there's stuff scientifically and what people have written about, but you don't know how autism comes about, and then what are the signs for the different spectrums. So and nobody knows that. I mean, I can't even tell you that, but all I can do is at least provide some information to people that are first finding out, and maybe some of our earlier experiences, and as we go forward, and some things to look for. So that's the goal of the channel. But to back up, that was a scary time. It was extremely emotional. Like I said, more upset at this person than anything. And after we found out, I think the one good thing that this woman did tell us was to start as early as possible with testing, because it would take the turnover time to get into a clinic and do like real tests, so that the state recognizes the disability. That is a long process, and I'm going to get into that in future videos. So as soon as that word comes out, or there's any worry at all, I would start making appointments with different places, and I would try to get that stuff done as soon as possible. Because the worst that can happen is you wait for a year later when your testing day is, and you've just wasted a year because you wanted to wait. It's better just to like get it booked now and express your concerns, and then like at that time when it's time to go to the doctor, if those concerns are gone, then you can cancel the appointment. I wish I had known that, because that was a long wait. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for coming and watching the videos, and I'm going to have Angeline on here at some point soon, because I think it's so important to talk about the impact on siblings. I think so much time gets spent on your child that has a disability that sometimes you forget. So like learning how to delegate your time and explain to the sibling what's going on. So I think that'll be one of the next few videos coming up. But I also have Jay sit in and talk about how school's going and show you some of the things that he's been drawing and doing. So again, thank you for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.
Please subscribe to my channel.